Peyron.
Yeah.
He's back with Artemis. Tell us what came into your decision to rejoin Artemis and not campaign with the French team.
The first reason is that because they asked me to come back, which was the first good news. And the second one is because you know very well that I've already tried 2 times to do a French team. 10 years ago with Bertrand Passé on the classic version 5, and 3 years ago with my brother with Energy team. And France is a very nice country, as we all know, and I'm very proud to be French. But maybe not, I mean, that's a country which is very well fed by other sailing stories.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Yeah.
By round the world trips, single ended stories and everything. And in fact, because maybe that's a country which is very well fed by other sailing stories, it's not, the America's Cup is not an easy one, easy story to sell on the French market.
Right.
Because that's quite an expensive product.
Yes.
Even that's a very efficient one in terms of marketing and values, but that's it. That's it. And then, because I had the chance, at least, it will be my 3rd campaign in America's Cup. Mm-hmm. I was involved with Alinghi a few years ago, and then with Artemis last year. But right now, this is the first time I'm at the beginning of a story, not at the end.
Yeah.
And which was better than nothing for sure. But the beginning is interesting, especially right now. We are mixing a lot of ideas, culture, and even in a small team, because Artemis team is not a big one yet.
Yes.
But that's definitely, I know that, and I really feel that it will be one of the best teams in the future for sure.
Okay.
So to be part of it.
Okay, and your anticipated role with the team this time around would be?
I'm still, as you know, Ernesto Bertari from Alinghi, my nickname was the Swiss Army knife.
Right.
And I like to stay like that, to be able to answer to any kind of question. I'm pretty sure I'm definitely not the best everywhere, but I know and I try to be interesting by any kind of areas within a team, in the building area, in the design area, in the sailing one. So I'm also a helmsman, still a helmsman for sure, on the SE 45 and even on the big boat as a backup for Nathan. So sometimes I would like to break his legs for sure. But that's interesting to be involved everywhere. Okay. So in the design, in the strategy, and in the sailing group.
Okay, and as far as the predicted schedule for what Artemis might be doing, if there is one in existence, what is your game plan here for the next 6 months to a year?
In fact, that's not easy to define really, because we don't know yet what's going to be the new rules, the new protocol, and even the venue itself.
Right.
It seems that we are not going to know the venue till the end of the year. So it's not easy to predict everything.
Right.
But at least as a sailing team and as a team which is supposed to lead, I'm talking about Artemis 1, so for sure we need to train, the sailors need to sail, the builder needs to build, and the designer needs to design something.
Yes.
And for sure that's why we are sailing on different devices, classic AC45, foiling 1, MOV, and the best as we can, but at least all the sailors have also quite a lot of things to do. Nathan and Goobs are going to be quite busy on their other program, which is very good in fact, because if you focus only on one thing, the best way to be efficient on one thing is to have a wider view of your skills. And that's very good to be able to say. In my personal case, I will do a little transatlantic at the end of the year, just to be back in the offshore mode, because that's where I'm learning a lot of things too.
Okay.
And so the program today for us is still on, let's say, the white page of paper is full of everything, a lot of big of a list, a wish list, what we want to do. The designer would like to test something and something which is very exciting in fact. That's a period which is very exciting, especially because we are not a big team in terms of people today, which is very good to do a good start like that. As we all know, in the Cup, that's not only a matter of number of people, that's a matter of time. The only thing you can't buy is the time. So we have the chance to be supported by a Tauben and to be able to work already 3 years before, which is very important.
Okay. And you anticipate doing 45 training here on San Francisco Bay for?
Like we were, in fact, since a bit more than a week, we were training here, because that's our base in Alaveda. That's a perfect shade. Everything, look at this weather, that's the perfect area to train.
Yeah.
So we've done that, and you maybe seen that the Classic is sailing right now.
Yeah.
And that's part of the training camps, for sure.
Yeah.
But we're not going to sail every day, for sure. No.
Yeah.
No, we can't. We have to slow, to start, but
And,
the main thing is the good rhythm, the good pace.
Yeah.
Not too fast, not too slow.
and the core crew that are actually out sailing on the 45s this go around were yourself, Percy, Ian Outeridge.
Nathan Goobs. Oh yes, the sailing group starts around Perth for sure. Nathan and Goobs.
Yeah.
And then another circle around with some tests. And right now we are not so many sailors, because again, at the beginning of a project like that, by the time we don't know yet what's going to be the machine, how many guys do we need on board, what's going to be the rule, you can't hire hundreds of sailors,
Right.
and we don't need it, in fact.
Yeah.
You know, if you have too much sailors, that's the beginning of the mess.
Yeah, yeah. But there is also the idea of going after the specific sailors that you want and not having somebody else get them, yeah?
Yes, and there are a lot of good reasons to test new sailors and to see what are their skills and if they are able to do something. But definitely the core group is the one we say,
Okay.
and which is a very good start.
Okay.
Because with Perth on one side and Nat and Goobs, you know, at least the three guys are amazing.
Okay, and in a semi-related question, are there any of the guys that came through the Red Bull Youth America's Cup that are actually on the program now or aren't being considered? And you don't have to specifically say names, but...
No, the thing is, again, it will be part of the rule or not. We don't know yet that.
Oh, no, not to bring the Red Bull Cup in there, just the sailors that came through the last cycle. Were there names on there that you guys actually picked?
It could be nice at some stage, for sure, because that was part of the reason of the Red Bull Youth, and which was a good idea. The show was very nice, and we all know that these boats, this new generation of boat, is mostly dedicated to young guys, for a lot of reasons. It's fast, and you have to react and so on. But they need to train, they need to learn what is a boat, I should say, a real one, a big one. So again, that's a very interesting trade-off between teaching, sharing experience, ideas and skills. But to be back to the Red Bull itself, the youth, we don't know yet if we will have to be present in the youth, again, as a team, as a Swedish team or not.
Okay.
So it's at this stage, it's really hard to answer to any kind of question, and that's our problem, in fact. So we have to be ready to react.
Okay.
Just to be ready.
Okay, and finally, this session is ended. Is there an anticipated next session? You guys will be back out in the water. People might see you.
A lot of people know, but for sure we are planning another session in the year, but they need to be able to match with the program of each guys separately like that. Yeah, so but that's on the page for sure. That's on the program.
Okay, perfect.